Hello, everybody. This is WCS Blitz. My name is Chris Messer, and I'm joined always by my co-host Daniel T. Today, we're wrapping up some WCS EU Challenger Groups F and G, a 2-for-1 special. So we're going to recap both of those. Let's hop into the Group F results.
All right, here you are.
And Group F contained Bunny, Tok Tok, Crass, and Harstem. So 4 players that you don't see too commonly. Harstem probably the most recognizable name, but Bunny and Tok Tok actually the ones to get through here. Overall, though, Group F was not really that exciting. I wish I could, recap it in the best way possible, but Dan, I know you saw the whole group yourself, in all of its boredom. So, what did you think overall?
I just don't even. I seriously, I was watching it and I was like, I can't even say anything about this. They were one-sided games, not interesting. This is a day that you can afford to miss.
The only upset I can really think of, Harstem not getting through. I mean, Harstem definitely a cool guy, and you see his name around. In terms of his competitive level, it's always kind of unknown, and today obviously having a disappointing day. So Bunny and Tuk Tuk go through Group F. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, pretty much.
So let's move on to Group G. All right, so here's Group G: Thorazane, Mana, Firecake, and Bishu. Thorazane and Mana, of course, some of the best players in EU, and they both move on from Group G. Firecake and Bishu taking 3rd and 4th. Some predictable results here. Probably the match that was the most exciting and the most unpredictable, Thorazane versus Mana. Dan, I know you watched a lot of this group as well. Let's hop into our first category of the night. And so our first category, the biggest yawner, it is, not surprisingly, Thorazane versus Firecake, the first match of the day there. Thorazane just kind of trouncing all over Firecake. Just solid, beastly macro. Thorazane unbelievably good, of course, and Firecake.
You had a proxy 2-rec by Thorazane as well, which was game 2. So not quite solid macro, but
I mean, Thorazane could have just sat there for like 10 minutes and then probably still won the game. I mean, no real offense to Firecake, because I'm sure he is a decent player, but Thorazane, one of the best EU Terrans, without a doubt. So that was definitely the biggest yawner of the night. Let's hop into our next category. All right, and our next category is going to be biggest upset, and we're going to go with Firecake versus Bishu. Firecake taking that 2-1. It was a series that, Bishu was expected to win there. Firecake just able to pull it out 2-1. Dan, I know you watched the series. Tell us a little bit about what happened to Bishu there.
Yeah, I think it was mostly Bishu beating himself. Firecake played pretty solidly. He had some decent builds, a lot of ultra builds, but as we'll see a little bit later on, Bishu definitely had a hand in beating himself.
He just had one hand playing and then just like kind of punching himself in the face repeatedly. That was Bishu today, unfortunately.
Might as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure nerves were a factor as well, because Bishu, we don't see him on a lot of stages. So for him to be in Group G, he's has a relatively big audience watching for Challenger, and the weight of Challenger is pretty heavy. So I think you can definitely account for nerves there. And let's move into our last category, which is the best series. All right, and our best series, Thorazane versus Mana. Thorazane taking that 2-1, a very predictable best series. Like, I know we're not doing any kind of groundbreaking stuff here, but the series was solid. Thorazane opening up with a strong macro game in number 1, completely dominating Mana on Aklon Waste. I mean, that was just ruthless stuff there. I mean, Mana didn't even have a chance to really breathe. He was playing his typical turtle macro Protoss style, but Thorazane just wasn't really having any of it in that game, breaking him down. At no point did Mana really feel comfortable in that one. Game number 2, Mana was the one that was able to sort of turtle up, do his style. It was on Whirlwind, so Thorazane tried to break Mana in that game with no luck. And then game number 3, we actually have picked as one of our top games of the night, and we'll show you a little bit more on that in just a bit. Dan, what was your best series? Also Thorazane Mana. I know you watched it.
Absolutely.
Just a few words. Like, what did you think about it?
It was one of those anticipated series. Cool to watch. Once again, probably predictable if it was going to win, but you got to pick something. And if you absolutely want to watch a series from this Group G, that would be the one to do so.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not anything that'll blow your socks off. Not that I ever say that, but it still won't. So definitely a great series, but again, nothing groundbreaking. Thorzane, one other cool thing though, definitely utilizing Hellbats a lot, especially on Aklon Waste. He was really trying to poke with those Hellbats, doing a single Hellbat drop and then doing 3 medevacs full of Hellbats, just poking in and out, looking for any holes. So Thorzane loving his Hellbats in TVP. I feel like trying to mix them in a lot. So I would say that's like probably the coolest thing about both days, really.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, so with that, let's hop into our top picks of the night with mine first.
Okay.
Let's go into it. All right, so for my pick of the night, it is going to be Mana versus Thorzane, game number 3. Again, just more macro stuff coming out from both players. Thorzane, though, showing some really great control here. He's going to end up pushing the natural of Mana. And, Mana has the very typical composition. Zealots, Sentries, Mothership Core. Trying to get that Colossus tech up, but he's not quite there yet. Let's take a look at how Thorzane engages Mana at his natural ramp.
Oh, but a little bit of the bio pokes up, killing off a sentry or two. Picks everything up and pulls on back. Oh, a nice try there, though, from Banner. Tries to blink down to kill off that medevac, but doesn't get it in the end. Pins up a lot of that bio against the force field, and then picks up once again. You're making it very hard for me to cast this game, you guys. These... it's just small moves here and there and absolutely everywhere. Wow.
Yeah. Person is doing this perfectly, I think.
He really is. This is a fantastic control play here from Thorzane. And look at that, all the Zealots don't even get the damage that they're done that they want to. There, he pushes on forward.
And
GG.
One thing I have to say about that, and Dan, I think you'll have to agree with me, Kalaris' laugh is infectious. That guy, whenever he laughs during a cast, just puts a smile on your face. I mean, he was having a hard time casting that scenario because Thorzane looked like he was about to lose a lot of units to that force field, picks up, and then he does it again. So, I mean, really cool play by Thorzane. I mean, just good stuff. Mana, he had the right composition to deal with that, and that would have worked against a lot of Terran players as well. But Thorzane, I mean, saving that medevac with like 1 health, it would have helped. But either way, great play by Thorzane. My top pick of the night.
Absolutely. All right, and my top pick is from Bishu versus Firekick. This was game 3 as well. It was a pretty heavy macro game. There were ultras, there were tempests,
and carriers,
and a carrier for whatever reason.
Just it's the fun carrier. It's like you get it for funsies. That's what some Protoss players are doing now to sort of bug out some AI, which definitely can be useful. So.
Absolutely. And then, well, there's a little bit of a misstep, and
there's a misstep.
I'll just show you what happened.
Oh no, Bishu!
Well, that went nicely. He's maxed out once again. His army is got 10 Ultralisks in it, so pretty good. But he doesn't have that +3 melee upgrade. He's going to try and go for the engagement here. That's a lot of Ultralisks. I don't know if
that was a very bad position by Bishu.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's move commanding all of his blink stalkers. What are you doing?
The conveyor belt of death into those blades there of those Ultralisks. There's so many left. I think Firekick just wins.
Yeah, he wins.
What just happened?
Bishu fucked up. There's nothing else.
PG-13, my friend. PG-13, quick.
Oh, okay.
Back.
Sorry.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but you're right. He certainly didn't do the correct thing. Oh, no, Bishu. Well, that took a turn for the unexpected.
And cut.
Yeah.
And so there you have it. That's what happens when you move command a group of stalkers into a bunch of ultras. As you can see, my partner Chris feeling that pain.
Oh, it's so deep. Oh my god. It's just so brutal. They were like, it was like they were kind of like dancing, and then it wasn't a party. They didn't know, and then it was over,
Yep. I mean, that was a pretty fearsome force that the Firekick had to begin with. It was going to be hard as it is, but
I mean, could he have won that fight?
You never want to lose half your force by move commanding into a bunch of ultras.
it looked like that game was over either way, but I mean that was just sort of like the choke moment. Like, okay, I have one shot to hold this. I probably won't. Oh, now I guaranteed it. Like, I don't know what else to say except, yeah, you were talking about how Bishu was sort of beating himself, and I mean that's a prime example of him just sort of getting in his own head there. And I mean, I played Protoss, and just seeing that, just that's all I gotta say.
And I wholeheartedly agree with you.
That's like our ending note. WCS Blitz, Group G. That's it. So thank you guys for joining us today. We will be recapping more WCS action in the future. Shout out to ESFI for having us on their channel. Check out their website, esfiworld.com. Show them love on Twitter and Facebook as well. My name is Chris Messer.
And I'm Daniel T.
And we will see you guys next time. Thank you.